Hello, everyone. You're listening to Unlocking Greatness podcast with Zenja Glass. My name is Z. If you're listening to the podcast, I just want to strongly encourage you this time to go to my YouTube channel if you're able to and actually watch this video clip. I am pretending to be playing the piano right now. And I just want you to join my world for just a little bit because I'm going to get into a situation that just happened that is really unbelievable. And I'm going somewhere with this. The title of this podcast is going to be called Keep Playing. Just imagine for a moment you're working on a beautiful masterpiece. And for those who are only listening to the podcast, ironically, today I'm wearing a piano dress of all times. Wasn't planned that way. And I'm sitting here pretending to be playing the keyboard. So just imagine that you're working on a beautiful masterpiece and you're just playing along, minding your own business, playing beautiful, beautiful music. And imagine someone comes along and hits a key and walks away. Now, the temptation is to stop playing and to look at that person or that situation that just happened or that circumstance and to allow it to stop you from what you were building, from what you were making, from what you were working on, from what you were praying about. You know, that temptation is to just completely stop in your track and go and follow that situation. But I want to encourage you, keep playing. Keep playing your masterpiece. And don't you ever allow the enemy the pleasure of stopping you from the masterpiece that God is building in your life. You have to keep playing. Because man can do nothing to you. And when you are rooted and grounded in God, and you are surrendered to His will in your life, all of it, every keystroke, every stroke, whether it's a high note or low, it's a part of the beautiful masterpiece that God is allowing to happen in your life. Now, you may say, Z, wow, this is nice. Where are you going with this? What happened? Just before I literally decided I'm going to go ahead and record an episode, and I wasn't quite clear what it was going to be on. Someone played a horrible, horrible joke on my family. And I won't go into all the details because I don't want to give that person, whoever that person is, the pleasure in going through all the details. But I'll tell you this. Just before recording, someone called my family and pretended to be my son, my dead son, my son who recently passed away, and came up with this story of just being in a very bad accident. And I don't want to go into more details, but called other family members of mine and tried to pretend as if that person was one of my other kids. And it was such a horrible, made-up story. And we realized the person now, on the back end, we realized the person was trying to scam my family. But when I tell you that for nearly an hour or two, the uproar that this caused in my family, if you can imagine someone trying to pretend to be your dead son, and then someone making up a story about a very bad situation. And I don't want to go into any more details with it, but it was one of those situations where for about an hour, we had no idea what was going on with our other family members. And ironically, just at that time, we were not able to reach anyone. And I had to, quickly leave work, quickly leave a meeting, actually, that I was supposed to be a part of, and had to attend to it because, there was tears, and it was a really bad situation that happened. And it ended up getting itself worked out. Again, I don't want to go into all the rest of the details with it, but you can imagine the emotions. And for those who don't know me, I recently lost my son just about 3 months ago. the way that this ripped at my family's heart, if you knew the specific details with what was said and just the story that was made up and who they approached in this and how they went about doing it, it would just rip your heart out. But I'll tell you something. In the middle of it, when we didn't know really what was going on, and I'm getting all these calls, and oh my goodness, I can't tell you what happened, and you got to get home now, blah, blah, blah. In the middle of all of it, I literally feel in my spirit, I heard the chords of the masterpiece in my life. And I was still with the world spinning around me and centered in God, whatsoever you allow to happen in my life, I am fully surrendered to you. And I'm going to keep playing. I'm going to keep playing your masterpiece. And I don't know what's going on at this point. Everybody's blowing my phone up. And at the time, as I said before, we didn't know that, this was some made up thing of somebody trying to do something in my family. But the sweet chords and the masterpiece that sort of was playing in the background in my spirit was just a chord of being surrendered. That no matter what is thrown, I'm going to keep playing. It reminds me, and I pray this encourages you, because I'm actually encouraged. Let me give the end of that before I read the passage. When it was all said and done, and we caught wind of everything that was happening, I said to myself, what was I about to do just before this attack came? I was about to go into prayer and ask God what to record and to do a podcast to help God's people. I said, God, what was the enemy trying to block? And God put in my spirit, that was a distraction. And I said, God, how are you going to turn that into gold? Remember I did an episode a long time ago about gold pain? Whatever we go through, it can be transformed into gold. I said, God, how are you going to turn that into gold? Now, I would be lying if I told you it didn't upset me what happened. And I can't believe that there are people in this world whose hearts are so calloused, so hardened, that for a living, this is just what they do. Try to scam people out of things, even if it involves bringing up hurtful and painful memories in someone's family, especially the death of a son. And I pray for them, and I pray for their souls. Whoever that person or those people were, I pray that God has mercy on you. I pray that you come to see the light. And I pray that God comes to you and you go to him and he sustains you and you change your ways. But I'm going to tell you something. I said to God, we've got to turn that into gold for your people, because I was so worked up from it, and so was my family. I could have very easily said, I'm not going to play today. I'm not going to continue playing, the chords of this masterpiece, because it brought back such memories of my son. And we are still grieving. And I almost stopped playing today. But then I realized, when the enemy is coming against me, he's really not attacking me. He's attacking God. He's attacking the God that's in me. When the enemy is attacking you, when he comes against you, when someone comes along and they're hitting that chord and walking away, the attack is not against you, it's against the masterpiece that God is creating in your life. And here's what's so beautiful about this. Even with those odd chords being hit, if you are aware or you listen to symphonies or some of the most beautiful masterpieces in the world, when it's all played together, it sounds so beautiful. All of it is a part of the masterpiece. You are witnessing right now a masterpiece in full production. You're witnessing someone who was simply playing, and someone came and hit a chord and literally ripped my heart out for a second. And God gently pop it right back in and say, baby, keep on playing. And let me tell you what passage came to mind. I'm going to read this and I'm going to get off. But I'd be dang if I wasn't going to record this today. The devil is a lie. I recite to myself all the time Psalm 27. You all have heard me say it many times. The Lord is my light and my salvation. The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When evil men advance against me to devour my flesh, it is my enemies. When my enemies and my foes attack me, they will stumble and fall. Though an army besiege me, my heart will not fear. Though war break out against me, even then will I be confident. One thing I ask of the Lord, this only do I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord and to seek him in his temple. For in the day of trouble, the Lord will keep me safe. He will hide me in the shelter of his sacred tabernacle and set me high up on a rock. Man can't do anything to us. Read the story of Job. Read the first chapter. Read the conversation that the enemy had with God concerning Job. Take note of when the enemy said to God, you know I can't touch him, you have a hedge around him. Anything that God allows to happen in our lives, God's got a plan. So, I'm not even going to talk for a long time. I just wanted to come on here and show to the devil, I'm going to keep playing. And though you may come my way and try to stop me and work through someone to do something that was so disheartened, so tragic, so calloused, it is now only being used as a chord in the symphony and in the masterpiece that God is building in my life. And I pray for those of you who are listening, who say, hey, Z, I can identify, oh my goodness, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. You wouldn't believe how this person came at me, or my boss did this, or this friend or this family member did this or betrayed me, or this situation happened and all of a sudden my car won't start, or, you know, I want you to be fully surrendered to God. Not I. God wants you to be fully surrendered to him. And keep playing that masterpiece. And don't you dare, when someone comes along and hits that chord, do not stop to try to look and address that. You keep playing, and you allow that to be a part of your masterpiece. I love you all. This is Z with Unlocking Greatness Podcast. Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening. This is Z with Unlocking Greatness Podcast. Please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the notification button. Love you all. Bye-bye.